What is up, YouTube? We are back breaking down UFC Apex Moicano versus Duncan. Initially, I thought this was one of the worst cards I've ever seen in my life. It's still not the best, but it's not the worst, I'd say. Um, some interesting fights. But I guess before we break it down, probably need to get through it today a little quicker. I still want to do a hunt. We'll just do silver and just kind of run a free for all there. I gotta talk about last week. I didn't make the videos, whatever. I was doing some things, put out the predictions. If you faded 80%, you did a fantastic job. And I also did end up switching to my picks right before fights. Or not, well, one was a switch, the other one I just added a lot of money onto something else that was not mentioned in the video. I switched to Larion Douglas KO in the first round, and I did all of that. Because I initially said a roasted decision. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that have been a disaster on top of all the other disasters? So we switched. That was awesome. Got that. And then for the main event, as much, or not as much, as well as throwing money on Adesanya and basically, rocking with him, even though I was a little sketched about it, whatever. We threw a lot of money on under 3.5, which when that hit, because obviously the Adesanya stuff did not hit, made all my money back that I lost from that night. So that was awesome. Um, but yeah, on to this card, there's some things I want to mention. I ideally will want to go a little more in depth just with the quality of this card, the weight misses. Um, yeah, we'll talk about the quality here shortly as we go on into breaking down the fights. But we got to talk about the weight misses. Obviously, I'm making this a few hours before fight day, or like the fight start or whatever on fight day. So let's see if we can get in and see anything over here. Yeah, so we'll talk about the quality and some of the guys that are even around shortly here. But we got to talk about these weight misses. We had some bad ones. So Yakayaev initially missed weight, but I think he went back and he made the weight. Um, who was the other There was two other people. I know the one, but okay. Darius Flowers missed weight, but he did not go back and cut again, so he's going to forfeit a percentage of his purse. And then uh, I'm going to try to keep my cool here. Rafael Estefan, who has this, I think this is going to be his third UFC fight. If not, it is going to be his fourth. He has missed weight two prior times, I believe. If not, this is his second time missing weight. He moved up from flyweight to bantamweight. How are you still missing weight? And he didn't even try to attempt a second time, or maybe he did and he didn't make it again. Like, fight's still on, but this is ridiculous. I can't stand this dude now. Not that I was ever a big fan to begin with. He's boring, but he's pretty decent. Um, the weight miss thing, when you keep doing it over and over again, and you move up a division and you still can't make weight, that's such a bad look. That is a horrible look. So yeah, I am actually like disgusted with the behavior of Rafael Estefan. Um, I will talk about what I'm doing with that fight here shortly, and maybe I'll touch base more regarding whatever goes on there. But yeah, this ought to be interesting. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, let's start with the first fight. So we got Dakota Hope versus Kai Kamaka. So don't know who Dakota Hope is. Kai Kamaka, I barely remember him. He used to be in UFC a few years ago. Um, I think when I first started following the sport, like I think like the first time I seen him fight, he had like a decent win, and then after that proceeded to go on like a 3 or 4 fight losing skid before being cut. That's like what I'm remembering without any knowledge or whatever. And then I think they must have brought him back. There's no way he was on a crazy layoff like that, and they were letting him do that. With being on that big of a loss streak and not being that good to begin with. But he's back, I'm assuming. Um, I don't know if I can trust him. I imagine he's doing pretty well on the regional scene if he's being brought back, unless they're just looking for anybody, with the polls at this point. But go rock with the guy I don't know in Dakota Hope and just hope that this guy is like a Larion Douglas type thing where it's like, oh, I don't remember the name initially, but maybe I see the highlights before the fight. It's like, oh, that's that guy. Yeah, we're rocking with him over Kai Kamaka. On to the next fight, we got Dione Barbosa versus Melissa Gatto. I think she's got to be back. This has to be a re-signing. No, this might be a re-signing. Unless I could see her being on just a crazy long layoff. But I was high on Melissa Gatto when I first got into the sport. Then she kind of went on a losing skid. And I think she might be back. This might be like, I mean, regardless, she's back. Long time away from the UFC. She's got a tough test in front of her in Dione Barbosa. Yeah, Dione Barbosa's decent, but I gotta rock with my girl Melissa Gatto and hope that she's turned it around and she's back. That's what I'm doing here. I'm rocking. Let's see if we can catch anything on this hill. I'm gonna be rocking Melissa Gatto decision, tough split. I'm calling split. Something like that. I could see that. Yeah, Melissa Gatto. But actually, no. If it does go split, it goes Barbosa. I'm gonna say Melissa Gatto, unanimous. We'll see what happens. On to the next fight, we got Sean Gore versus Azamat Bakoyev. Um, I thought Gore got cut a few months ago. No, maybe short notice brought him back. I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking short notice came back, or maybe I don't know. I really don't know how Sean Gore is still in the UFC. But yeah, he's facing Azamat Bakoyev, who before the Yusri Belgarui fight, was looking like he was one of the best prospects at middleweight. But now we're looking at Belgarui, who just got an insane win last weekend again against another tough prospect, and now he's looking like he's one of the best prospects at middleweight. Heck, they're not even calling him prospect; they're saying he should be ranked in the top 15. Some people I've seen said. So that loss is aging fairly well for Bakoyev. I think this is just a massive level difference in competition. I don't think Tresean Gore will be able to have the physicality advantage over Bakoyev like he might be able to against like some other guys like Josh Fremd and whatnot. But I gotta rock Bakoyev here, unless he's so mentally shook from that Belgarui fight. But if we're talking skills, if we're talking, versatility, I gotta go the Bakoyev route. I am going to go Bakoyev first round sub. I could see like a fluke takedown in Bakoyev just while having a lot of energy, just gets it quick, and it's gonna be the end of Tresean Gore's UFC career, unfortunately. But hopefully he gets on the regional scene and goes crazy and gets back. I think he's not too young. He's like I think he's like 30 or so. But couple years, 3 years, you come back and boom, you're in your prime. I feel like UFC primes are anywhere between like 33 and 35, so. Or I guess 32, 34 maybe. Yeah. On to the next fight, though. We got Haley Cowan versus Alice Pereira. This is stay away fight of the week, no doubt. There's a few that caught my eye in this. We got some over here. Yeah, this fight. I mean, I just I seen this and I was like, oh yeah, I want nothing to do with this. Haley Cowan, from what I remember, has always been mid. Honestly, didn't even know she was still in the UFC. Or I guess it's women's bantamweight, so that's very easy to do. Um, but Alice Pereira was one that I was like, she would probably be good or whatever. Um, didn't she lose to Montserrat Hendon, or it was like very close, or it was like, oh, you should have been that close with Hendon. I don't even know if it was Montserrat Hendon. It might have been a Montserrat Ruiz. Is that a fighter in the UFC? It was someone during I think the Noche card last year in September, and she just looked mid. I can't remember if she won or lost. She just looked mid, and it was very concerning. Um, just could have been debut jitters or whatever, but just looked like a lot of technical mistakes. Um, just I don't know, but like you also got to understand. I think Alice Perez is like 19 or 20 years old, so she's very young. She's in a very weak division. I mean, it's not like they should be rushing her. This isn't a tough matchup in my eyes. It's just the question is is she that good to begin with though? Like, is she going to struggle against a Haley Cowan, who probably has a similar reach and same size and reach as Pereira? Pereira might be a little bigger, but from what I remember, they're both pretty tall bantamweights. So we're staying away. But if we got to go something, we're going Pereira decision. That's the easy route here. It's just picks away at Cowan, just does a little better per round, but nothing crazy. I'm not sitting here thinking that it's going to be a great performance for Pereira and she's just going to automatically cement herself as a true contender, prospect, whatever. I'm just expecting, hey, she's going to go out there, get an easy win, but do nothing too crazy. On to the next fight, we got Lando Venata versus Darius Flowers. Another two examples of guys I didn't even know was still in the UFC. Lando Venata is a guy that. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Didn't you see that? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh, they're coming down now. Okay, okay. So Lando Venata is the guy we actually got to give our respect for. I remember I downplayed him a lot. Um, when I first got into the sport and everything because I was like, oh, old wash vet. But he got some sneaky wins, even, I wouldn't say as of recently, but whenever he's last fall, which is at this point has to be at least 3 or 4 years ago. Like, I haven't seen Lando Venata since at least 2023. I think probably 2022, if not even, it might have been 2021. No, I feel like he's fought in 2022. I feel like that's a real thing. But it's been quite. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's weird. Okay, I thought I was tripping. It's been quite a whereabouts issue, I guess, with Venata. I didn't even know he was still in the promotion. I don't know what's going on there, but it seems as if this one looks fairly big. It's a three. It seems as if he's either had some crazy long layoff, a lot of injuries and setbacks that come along with it, or they just brought him back for I don't know why. Like, are they struggling to get talent? Because Darius Flowers as well should not deserve to be back in the UFC unless he's just went crazy on the regional scene. But I feel like I just seen him like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and he was horrible. So I don't know. Maybe that's not the case. I don't. Man, I don't know which one I'm going to go for. I feel like there's ones over here. That sucks. Okay, I guess we're gonna go for this three back over here real quick. But yeah, both these guys, unless I'm missing something, which I very well could, don't really deserve to be in UFC anymore. Venata is a vet that gets sneaky wins, so you can't display. Uh, wait, hold on. I gotta do that again. Venata's someone you can't really downplay. I don't know why I said display. Downplay his skills. He just gets sneaky wins and everything. He's dead. Um, but yeah, what does Orlando Venata look like? I'd imagine he has to be at least 38 now. At least. Like, if not older. He might be 40, 41 at this point. Um, Darius Flowers, I also believe, is pretty old too. He's like, what I'd probably say, Darius Flowers probably 36. No, he's probably like 38 or so. Like, why are these guys in still? Like, this is just so bad. It's so bad, honestly. But yeah, I'm gonna go Venata. I don't want to talk about this too much more. I just like without especially knowing the circumstances as to why these guys are even in the UFC. So I'm gonna go Venata decision, just trusting the veteran experience to get it done, even though they're both kind of vets, but the UFC experience at least advantage. On to the next fight though, we got Alessandro Costa versus. Let me see, these guys are coming back down. No, they're not. They're out. Okay, that's fine. Um, yeah, Alessandro Costa versus Stort, Nicole. Um, I think Costa's decent. I don't know. He's probably someone that will eventually just be in that top 10 to top 15 range. I don't know if he gets any further than that. Stort Nicole was actually bad from what I remember. I could be wrong, but we'll go for the female as well. Curb some hunting pressure. Um, yeah, so I think I'm going to rock with Costa. Second round sub, though. I'm going to throw in a sub in there, second round. Back in my heyday when I first started betting, especially MMA, second round subs always used to be the big money maker. My biggest win of all time actually was. Oh, that's a pretty good shot. I like that. Nice. One of my biggest wins of all time was actually UFC San Antonio, Sandhagen versus Vera 3 years ago, um, where I literally lost every single bet up until the Nate Landwehr fight, which I believe was the third to last fight, was down like about 200 something dollars. And then, um, yeah, I was down like 200 something dollars. And then I did $7 on a Nate Landwehr second round sub against some guy that shouldn't have been in the UFC. I forget what his name is. If I saw it, I'd know it. I think it was Gavin something. Um, like a Gavin Lutz or not a Gavin Tucker. I don't know. It was something. But let's go somewhere else. See what's popping off over here. Yeah, so second round subs. Oh yeah, I threw $7 on that Nate Landwehr one. Won me back $240 or $250, and I was down 200 at that point. And then I was like, second round subs are the best, dude. Well, some of the best. So let's hope we get one with Costa here. On to the next fight. We got Thomas Peterson versus Guilherme Pat. Um, Peterson, I thought was, somewhat decent at one point in a horrible heavyweight division. Boy, am I wrong. He really does embody the blob thing, like at least 70% of the heavyweights do. Um, I thought he had kind of fast hands, somewhat well-rounded skill set. That's not really the case, though. Guillermo Pat, I feel like I just seen him on Contender Series, and he was actually somewhat decent. I'm going to be rocking first round KO here. I think I've always wondered stuff over in this come down this hill. Guess not. Let's see what's going on up here. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna rock Guillermo Pat first round KO and just trust that this guy is better than Thomas Peterson. Nothing else around that, honestly. Then we're on to the main card. We got Jose Delano versus Robert Rushala. Um, Rushala, I couldn't remember if he's like an absolute like workhorse, I guess, like insane cardio. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's a big three. What they have to go up to like 250 something though. I should be going to this lake more often. This is a good one. I just want to see if there's anything else. If I get closer or whatever. Do I have a... I do have a hunting stand. That's going to be perfect. That's going to set me up right on that landing. I just got to get over there. Yeah, Robert Rucella, I can't remember if he had like an absolutely crazy gas tank and insane volume, or if he was actually very mid. Jose Delano, I don't remember either. So I'm throwing a shot in the dark. I'm saying Ruchala, and I'm banking on him having this insane cardio. Boy, if I'm wrong, this is gonna be funny. But this is why I warn you guys to fade 80%. Clearly, I'm a casual. Um, Short-term memory loss, but I'm going Ruchala, second round KO here. Um, oh wait, I actually did see the odds favor Delano, so Delano must have been some guy in the Contender Series. I just totally forgot about. Ruchala's actually that bad, um, but I'm sticking with my pick. I said Richarlison second round KO. We're rocking with it. If we rock with that and that hits, that's a pretty big, that's a big win. It's one that the odds, the lines are not really having any sort of favoritism towards. So we'll see what happens. Now we got Manolo Zucchini versus Tommy McMillan. Manolo Zucchini, another example of guy, why is he back in the UFC? And, you know, maybe he did go crazy on the regional scene. I doubt this guy was on the roster the whole time. It was just on crazy layoff. He's probably been out of the promotion for at least 4 or 5 years. Like, I heard the name and I was like, I don't even, like, I know the name. I just don't remember from. And then I kind of seen the face and I was like, oh, he's a guy that was kind of mid from a few years ago. So I'd imagine with him, he's getting off this regional scene. Probably got a few wins, few finishes as well. They brought him back. Unless they're just really trying to have Tommy McMillan have an easy fight first go around. But, as much as I want to, hate and everything, because I do with O'Malley and say they'll probably have the same favoritism, I'm not going to do that. I really don't think the UFC is going to do anything that crazy. McMillan looked worrying in the beginning of the fight. Oh, wait, 10 seconds. I'll be right back. Sorry. McMillan had it was an insane fight. It was an insane fight. It just wasn't the greatest performance, if that makes sense. It was one of those wins that's like, I miss? What did I miss? I missed. Wow. All right. Interesting. Should I have shot a little higher? That is interesting. All right. Um. Hmm. Well, that sucks. That sucks. Um. Yeah. So McMillan, from what I remember, was getting kind of pieced up in that first round, maybe a little bit even into the second. I think he faced that one Armenian dude that's going to be on that Jake Paul Netflix or the Ronda Gina Carano Netflix card. Um, I forget who he trains with, but he doesn't train with Armand, but he trains with somebody that I don't know. But I think he trains with somebody at one of those gyms down in LA. Is it King's MMA? I don't know. I don't know. Well, that's Benil's gym, so I don't think it's that. But oh, wait, let me see if I have spray. I need this. Yeah. So McMillan had a crazy comeback win. There's some holes in the game in his game, but like it was contender series, so it's whatever. Um, insane chin, crazy volume, versatility with the striking. Apparently, pretty decent jiu-jitsu and everything. I don't remember the fight too much. I just remember it being like absolutely insane. Like both guys respectfully needed to go to the hospital right away after. It was that crazy. I'm gonna rock with McMillan first round KO. makes a statement, is starts to become on the radar of some people over here as the next O'Malley guy, I guess. So we'll see what happens there. And then we're on to this fight. Rafael Estefan versus Ethan Ewing. I'm not gonna really talk about that Estefan weight miss too much anymore. It's just like I already kind of got that off my chest. Whoa, 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 whoa. It never hurts to sometimes just shoot a female. Dang, that sucks. I thought this isn't that one lake, is that? No. Oh, yeah, okay. I need to start putting tents down here. Ah, dang, that does suck actually. There's nothing else over here. Yeah, that thing's gone. The lions can sometimes be so tough to hunt here. Um, yeah, but Estefan, besides the weight misses, whatever, great wrestler. Kind of mid-striking from what I remember. Very one-dimensional. Doesn't do too much. Doesn't have a whole lot of pop. Oh my gosh. I just spawned in. That looks like a decent three. That's a pretty high three, I'd imagine. Interesting. Okay. Um, this this is odd for sure. Really? Okay. This is pretty weird. I guess I'll reset the time and see what happens there. I kind of want to see some mountain goats. Where are those at? And then on to Ethan Ewing. He is pretty decent. I know we only seen one fight, but it was a good fight. Like Wellmaker was in there. It's not like Wellmaker was patchy mix looking flat footed. Like Wellmaker was trying to hit him and he just oh my gosh. No, no, why is that one fling? I don't like that. I don't like that. He ate that? Okay, now he's going down. Now he's going down. Okay, I got it. Nice. Okay. Yeah, Ethan Ewing really good. Great chin. Cardio was good. Volume was insane. Literally won the fight off the volume. Kind of curious to see. I hope he builds off of it, especially because Estefan missed weight again. So I'm really hoping that Ethan Ewing pulls this one out, and just really starts to build a name as just like, someone. I wouldn't say that's always counted out or whatever, but he's had a lot of things like not go his way, like had to take the Wellmaker fight on 3 day notice. Everyone against him goes out there, puts on an insane performance. Some people are saying that's one of the best performances, at least of last year. I almost said of all time. It wasn't that crazy, but very, very good. So that was get out of here, get out of here. Um, but yeah, yeah, that was Oh my gosh, Bear. Oh, that's a 7 hard. Maybe. What a shot! What a shot! Dang. So what is diamond? Ah, 481 and above. That's crazy though. Yeah, that's a decent one though. That's a decent one. Um, and then we just got a crazy bear kill. But we are kind of getting distracted, so we got to keep kind of going. But as much as I am hoping Ewing wins, even with the weight miss, I am still going to rock with that Stefan, making it boring, holding him down. And I am going to have another prediction after this. I think Estefan is going to stink it up and be really bad. And I think the UFC is going to cut him because of the weight miss and because of the fact that he's not even a fun fighter after this fight. So um, Estefan will win and get cut. That is my prediction. Wow. Yeah, I just snuck it in. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What a sneak. All right, let's go somewhere else now. I need to put some tents down. That's what I need to do. On to the next fight. We got Abdul Rahman Yakayev versus Branidson Ribeiro. Just letting you know, this is going to be my lock of the week, even with the weight complications of Yakayev. Um, this is just another one to put on the resume, man. To build up that potential in this guy, all finishes in UFC. They're gonna keep that rock, and it's just he gets it done in the first round, no doubt in my mind. It's just, is it by sub or KO? Because that's how I got freaking burnt the last time this guy fought. Who did he fight? It was the guy that just loves to just get cornered against the fence and get smoked. That's not Tricoli. He literally just fought a few weeks ago though. Oh, or maybe he didn't. Well, Tricoli just fought last week, but and he just got cut. But who was the guy? I can't think of the guy. Literally, Ebo Aslan did it to him too. Oh, that's gonna drive me insane. It's just like, oh, Sequeira, Rafael Sequeira. That's who it was. So yeah, he was destroying Sequeira against the fence, and then I was like, oh, easiest money of my life having first round KO, and then he just goes for the sub, and I was like, ah. But no, we're going Yakayev, first round KO here. Um, Don't think he gets the sub this time. Well, he could. He definitely could. It's just I think he's gonna go for. I think he's gonna get him out of there. I think he's gonna knock out Bernidson, Ribeiro cold. But I think it's gonna be later in the first round. I do think he's gonna start off slower. That would be absolutely hilarious if he just blitzes him down again and just makes it look easy. But I just want to see real quick again. I don't think there's anything else far side. I might just do this one. Take out this guy. I shoot it in like no man's land. It's kind of weird. It's so weird. Can't see it. That's so weird. I thought at least it would graze along or something, but no, I did not. But yeah, Yakayev, first round KO, lock of the week. I mean, that's a no brainer in my opinion. Going on to the next fight, Vienna, but it doesn't hit the same anymore. Going up against Tabitha Ricci. Virna, it doesn't hit the same anymore. Virna, you don't lose to women that men simp over. You don't. Those are the easy ones. You lose to the ones like Zhang Wei Li, maybe. Heck, even a Tatiana Suarez is just massive. Mackenzie Dern. I still am so sour about that. Mackenzie Dern's grappling's not even that good. Her submission skills, jiu-jitsu is legit. I will give her that. Wrestling, Virna should have been holding her down all day long like it's Islam Makhachev. JDM. That's how it should have been. The pace that she can push with the grappling. Dude, I thought Virna had it. But she didn't. I think I gave Dern 4 of those 5 rounds. Um, but there was another one that was close. It was clearly Dern. It was just Virna, Virna. I just don't know. On if this was Virna, if Virna, let's say never faced Dern. Let's say they gave Dern Suarez instead, or something that didn't make sense. And we're talking Virna Ricci before the Dern fight. Virna all day. Because I'm assuming she's doing the same thing. The pace, the wrestling. It's just too dominant, even against someone who's kind of a what's it called, grappler and Ricci. Um, but can I trust Ricci? Sometimes isn't the best in like the biggest spotlight. Striking did look a little better last fight. It did look a little better. So maybe she's improving. Maybe the boyfriend's teaching her some things. So that's cool. Love to see that. Um, eh, you know, we'll go over here. I think I'm gonna go Ricci decision. I think I'm doing it. I think I'm rocking Ricci decision here. Stuffs to takedowns, volume on the feet. And if it's close, they're giving it to Ricci. No fucking doubt in my mind. I feel like I don't even, wouldn't even say this is a safe pick. It should be Virna. It's just, Virna looked bad last fight. She looked bad, and I don't know. Very, very, very concerning. So I'm gonna go Ricci decision here. Oh my gosh. So we got some that are fleeing already. Yeah, it's a tough fight. I would imagine Ricci's an underdog here. I don't know off the top of my head, but I would imagine she is an underdog. Alright. And then on to the main event. Renato Moicano versus Chris Duncan. I changed my mind probably a week ago at this point. I thought this was Moicano all day. I was looking at the grappling, um, and then Chris Duncan was telling stories about how, because like they trained together at ATT. I imagine they still do. If not, they definitely used to, and they used to train together specifically. And I guess Chris Duncan said, "Oh yeah, Moicano used to destroy me in the grappling, but this time would be different." And I'm like, I'm being given all the signs that this should be a Moicano win, but it's making me feel like I gotta go Duncan. I feel Moicano's chin has always been questionable, especially against these hard hitters. Chris Duncan isn't ever gonna be the hardest hitter no way, that doesn't hit. Are they just that tanky, bro? Um, but Moicano. His chin has always been questionable. The Benil loss is aging poorly. The Saint Denis win is aging beautifully, and that's why I was kind of going Moicano all the way up until recently. I just have a feeling it's gonna be one of those weird things where I'm waking up Sunday morning, Chris Duncan's top 15, and people are being like, "Oh, he's one of the next most exciting fighters to look out for in the rankings." Um, I think even though it's an Apex card, it's not against like anyone too crazy. I think a KO finish of Moicano, what he's about to do here, is gonna solidify that. I think first round Moicano's gonna, win. I think he's gonna mix in the grappling, but not be able to hold down Duncan. I think, it's gonna be interesting, but I think with mixing up and maybe doing just avoiding the danger on the feet. Is going to get Moicano in the first round. And then after that, I think Duncan's going to hurt him pretty bad and then just finish him shortly after. And I'm rocking Chris Duncan second round KO. I kind of hope I'm wrong because like I'm a big Moicano fan. But I kind of hope I'm right because this would be awesome for the lightweight division. You got another killer coming up the rankings who's getting in these wars, getting these guys in and out early. He took this fight on short notice. It's supposed to be Ortega. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It'll be very, very interesting to see what happens here. Um, this fight is pretty interesting. I think if it's ever lopsided, though, you should be leaning Moicano, no doubt in my mind. Just because the experience, the well-roundedness. But Duncan has some decent jiu-jitsu of his own. I don't think he'll ever stand a chance with Moicano. We've seen the top control that Moicano has. It's actually insane. Like, he is legitimately no joke. Like, holding down Saint Denis and being able to do what he did is absolutely no joke. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with all this. I need to find these tracks so I can wrap up this video. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Um, there we go. Perfect. So what was this? Yeah, I'm an idiot. But yeah, overall, 13 fights for the card. The weight misses definitely agitated me. The name value initially agitated me, but then I was sitting here, I'm like, some of these matchups are fun. I mean, but like, I think it was just like, why? Like, I think I named five or six guys. I'm like, oh, you're still in the UFC, or oh, they brought you back. Like, unless these guys are going on some crazy regional career in this short amount of time and they're coming back, which I respect. I want them to bring guys back that, learn and get better. And even if it doesn't pan out, I'm fine with them won't take that risk if it's justified. If it's just they're bringing back guys just to have guys like to have some, I don't know. It just doesn't make too much sense. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, YouTube. Remember, fade 80%. Lock of the week, Yakayev, first round KO. Stay the F away from pick of the week. Alice Pereira, decision. Um, what's another one? That Ricci and Jandaroba thing, you should probably stay away from. I don't know. There's a few, but we'll see what happens. Other than that, it's been real. We'll see you later. Bye.